everybody, how you doing? This is Grampy again, and I'm doing fine. I've been doing just a little bit of resource gathering and mining and such, and um, I started to work outside here. So first of all, um, we made it back safely and had success on our mission. So I just ran off. I kept running off in that direction for quite a while, and I finally found a village that was in a plains biome, I think it was, and found some carrots and some potatoes. So I'm just kind of growing them here in a temporary location around this pond here. And then there was a pond right here, and you can see what I'm doing. Let me get a better vantage point. I just want to show you what I'm doing. I don't want to bore you by making you watch me do it because it's taken a little bit of time, but that's going to be my temporary sugarcane farm. So that was a part of this, shallow one deep lake, and I just put a bunch of blocks in that pattern, leaving a water block in between each one. I had to do a little bit of digging. I expanded it a little bit. I'm not sure why, because that's going to be way bigger than we need. But anyway, I'm going through and putting these slabs on top of the water, and that water logs the slab, and that makes a good water source block in there. So sugarcane will grow here, just like this one's growing. You see, as long as water is touching one edge of the block. So anyway, this is an efficient pattern to plant sugarcane. You can plant them around all the edges. Anyway, this is what I'm doing, and it's taking a little longer than I thought. But I just wanted to show you this in case you were interested. So just so you'll know, the plan for next time, or when we come back, is to clear out this level of grass and make a fairly large area that's all on this level right here, which is, if you look up in the left-hand corner, the Y level is 62. So I'm going to make all of this 62 out here, probably back to that, back to around here somewhere. And this is kind of where we're going to put our villager breeder and our villager trading hall. At least the breeder is probably going to be temporary. I'm probably going to only have it up and running for a while. I may rebuild it underground or something like that eventually, but for now I'm just going to have it above ground. But before I try to tackle digging out all that grass, I'd really like to get a diamond shovel with some efficiency on it. So I think my next temporary mission is to get a enchanting table up and running, and see if I can get lucky enough to get a efficiency on a shovel. Efficiency 4 will make it so grass blocks instamine. I think I'm not sure how that works. I think dirt blocks instamine with efficiency 3, but it takes efficiency 4 for grass. Maybe it takes 5 for grass and 4 for dirt. I can't remember that, but anyway, we're going to take a whack at that. And when we get to closer to being ready to start doing that, I'll bring you back in. For now, I'm just going to take care of these housekeeping chores, and I won't make you suffer through that. So I'll see you in a second. Hey everybody, welcome back. So I thought maybe after thinking about it, well, you can see I found these stone pressure plates in those desert temples, and so I put one here. Well, let's try to get our first ender ball. This guy's gonna be skittish here in the daytime. He'll probably kill me now. Okay, give it up, buddy. There we go. We got our first ender ball. Put it here. But anyway, I thought maybe this could be a good opportunity to talk about my setup at least and what I'm using, and that way you'll know. So I'm using some mods. First of all, I'm using. Hang on, let me make sure I don't miss anything. I'm using. First of all, I'm using the multi Minecraft launcher, not the Mojang launcher, and I'm running Fabric. So I have the Fabric stuff to make Fabric work. The Fabric API. I have I'm not sure how you pronounce this, but Malalib, some kind of a object library that the guy who made MiniHUD created. And so I'm using MiniHUD. We've talked about that before. We'll talk about that some more when we start using some of the other features. It has, it first of all, it has this heads-up display on the upper right corner. It just gives you essential information that you can control. So instead of having this giant debug screen that has all the information, you just get what you want up there. So and then it has some other stuff like light level overlay, which you all probably wish I didn't have because I forget to turn it off a lot. It doesn't, I don't even notice it anymore. Especially when I'm building something, I get so dependent on it. So I'm using that. Um, I'm using mod menu, which gives you the ability to interact with your mods a little bit better. And I'm using, oh gosh, can't no fog, which takes fog away. I like that in the Nether because it lets you see clearly in the Nether instead of being blind all the time by that fog. And that's about it. Occasionally I use Lightmatica, but I I only use Lightmatica when I uh, am particularly proud of something that I build, and I want to create a schematic with it, um, just to save it. I don't think I've ever used. I've tried to use this schematic approach to build stuff, where you can put a little ghost image of a schematic, in your world, and then place the block. It shows you how many material, how many of each kind of material you need, and it would show you where to place the blocks. I tried that once and hated it. I could go faster without it. Um, so I don't use the schematics to build anything with, but I do save off once in a while. If I build something I really like, I'll save it off for posterity and then just lose it, probably. So anyway, those are the mods I'm using. Um, and again, logical zoom, I'm using that. So I tried to use the spyglass, the new spyglass that you can make with tinted glass. But and it's cool because when you're zoomed in, you can move normally. With these other zoom functions, it slows you way down. But But I don't like having to use up an inventory slot to zoom with, so I'd rather use this one and suffer through the um, not being able to move rapidly or whatever. I'm gonna light this up a little bit. Maybe like this. Um, Sorry, spacing out here like crazy, just trying to count without messing up, and can't do it. So I don't know if this. I'm just trying to get enough light in here to help the sugar cane grow better, and maybe spawn proof things a little bit. I don't know whether that's doing it or not. I guess it is. Um, so anyway, those are the mods I'm using. And now for the a little bit more controversial, I'm using a couple of the vanilla tweaks that Azumavoid, publishes on. I think the website is just called Vanilla Tweaks, Minecraft Vanilla Tweaks. I can post a link in the description of this video if you want to check it out. But he uses some of them on Hermitcraft, and they're kind of fun. Some of them are kind of cheaty, really cheaty actually. And you may think that the ones I use are, but again, to each his own. Really, Minecraft is meant to be fun, and I don't like to. I don't like to. If it's fun, I'm gonna do it at least until it isn't fun anymore. So I'm not as big of a purist as some people are, but um, so there's my sugar cane. Let's just harvest a little bit, and this is going to produce a ton of sugar cane when it's up and running. Sugar cane will grow on grass or on sand or dirt. Probably, podzol and other stuff too. But anyway, so so I am using some of those data packs. You have to, and you load those specific to the world you're playing in. So you can have, your Minecraft instance can be 1.17.1, which is what I'm playing here, and one saved game can use them, and another saved game doesn't have to use them. So you load them in specific to a saved game. But I'm using the first one I'm using is more mob heads. So when we kill stuff like cows and pigs and basically any mob except for creepers and zombies, because those are kind of special heads, or skeletons. I'm sorry, skeletons, creepers, and zombies. Um, those do not drop, but all other mobs, including some of the hostile mobs, or all of the hostile mobs like Enderman, actually Wither Skeleton aren't affected either. They'll drop their heads the same as they do otherwise. But everything else has a chance of dropping a mob head. So we'll pick up mob heads, and then all the passive mobs as well, like cows and sheep and bats and spider. Well, spiders are hostile, but all that stuff has a chance of dropping a head, and we'll use them for decoration and just whatever, just for fun. So we're using that. The other thing I'm using is a durability ping. I I don't know if I'm different from other players, but I I break tools all the time when I'm digging big projects. I just I don't know. I just, my mind goes into blank mode, and and I just forget to check the durability of my picks and shovels and stuff. So I hate breaking a netherite tool, especially early in the game. So I have this data pack that gives you a warning and sort of makes it annoying to ignore. So I have that. Hopefully that'll keep me from breaking. I haven't used it yet, but I'm gonna do it for this time around. So I'm using that. Um, I'm gonna save the most controversial for last. I'm using a Redstone Rotation wrench. There's a data pack that allows you to place a redstone object like a dispenser, for example, and then use a special tool to rotate it into the direction that you need it. And that is pretty controversial because, you know, um, if you've worked on complicated redstone machines, you know that getting in position to place the redstone device objects is sometimes difficult, right? So if you need a dispenser to face down, but you don't have enough room to get into position to make it face the right direction, it can just be a pain and a challenge, I guess, not a pain. And and so that's part of the good redstoners, mojo is building their devices in such a way that they don't box themselves into corners, right? They can always place their stuff the way they need to. But for me, I'm a redstone hack and you know, uh, a faker. This allows me to put down an object and just rotate it into position. So I'm going to use that. Sorry if that offends people. Same kind of deal for terracotta. If you know the glazed terracotta is such a pain to try to get in the right position if you're making patterns and stuff with it. So I'm trying. I haven't used it before. I haven't used the redstone rotation either before. There's our friend the bee. Is that? Oh wow. Um, so I'm gonna try and use those two things. Then um, the last thing that I have that, like I said, this is probably the most controversial, is it allows you to combine. Oh, here's another little bee nest. Uh-oh. I think that's the front. If the front of a bee's nest is blocked, no, there's the front, so they can get in and out. If the front of a bee's nest is blocked, the bees can come out of another side, but they can't go back in. So that's just a little trick you can use that's useful actually when you're messing with bees. But so anyway, there's a mod that allows, or not a mod, it's a data pack that allows you to take your Elytra and combine it with a chest plate. So you have an anvil and you just toss, the way you use it is you toss your Elytra on the anvil and then you toss your chest plate on the anvil and it combines the two together. So it looks like Elytra when they're combined, but your Elytra takes on the protection and the enchantments of your chest plate. So really cheaty, right? That's supposed to be the cost of, Mojang decided that the cost of having the ability to fly is that you have to give up your protection, the protection that a chest plate gives you, which is a good trade-off, right? Flying is the best feature that's ever been added to this game. Elytra is the biggest improvement that the game has ever seen, in my opinion. It's it's useful, equally useful in both survival, just playing the game, and in for builders, right? If you're building complicated structures and big, high structures in survival, you've died a lot. without Elytra. But now with Elytra, it gives you the ability to build, you know, a lot easier, and you can kind of quickly fly back and get a perspective on what you're doing and how you're placing blocks, and it's just a and it's just the best thing ever. And Mojang really nailed it, right? The mechanics of the Elytra are perfect. I don't think they can improve it at all. Maybe they could. Maybe you guys can think of a way to improve Elytra, the way they work, but I think they're pretty close to just, perfect. The way you know, the way they propel and the way when you turn, it sort of kills all your momentum and the way you can land. I mean, if you practice and get good, you can land on a single block that's way up in the air and really just do what you need to do. So anyway, I'm using that. I'm going to combine my I'm going to I'm going to give up, I'm going to choose not to give up my protection to have Elytra, and I'm just going to use them both. So I'm going to do that. So anyway, that's what I'm using.